Welcome to Accelerate for Life, helping you achieve your dreams faster and take your business to the next level. This world's not going to slow down, so why should you? So grab your surfboard and get ready to ride the tsunami of success with Accelerate for Life with Denise Mackey and Ronnie Tsunami. Hey everybody, welcome to Accelerate for Life on this Happy Hump Day. That's what we're going to call it, Happy Hump Day. I'm Denise Dynamac Mackey with Ronnie Tsunami. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing awesome. How about you?
You know, for a minute there, I complain about these headphones all the time. My $60 headphones that I say I always fuss about. I thought for a minute there it was my headphones again, but this time it was right. You can speak, Jay. It's
I don't have headphones.
I would call you not prepared.
Whoa, we start the conversation. Radio show's not even a minute into it. And the sparks are flying.
I would call you not prepared.
Hold on. Jan, put my gloves on right now.
Oh,
I'm ready.
My gosh.
Bring it on, Dynamac.
Bring it on, Tsunami starter.
I'm the referee. That's all I'm here for.
Oh, where's our bell?
That's right, Jade.
Fight!
Woo. Round one. Point Denise.
Already?
Well, yeah, I caught him out of the blue when I said you're not prepared.
I thought it was hilarious. That's the point.
I just thought it's because I have great hearing, unlike other people who need headphones.
Ooh. Dang it. Yeah, they're tied. Who's going to win?
It's okay. Age catches up with you, but you can overcome that with headphones.
Oh, my God. He takes the lead. Come on, Dynamac.
I didn't even have a comeback. I haven't even...
You're good at these things usually.
I know. I'm really good.
Do not challenge me.
Do not challenge. I just wanted to introduce our guest today. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get back to business. Come on, give me that. No, sorry. Nice try.
She said, come on, give me that.
All right, so we have Jan Luther with the Rejuvenation Station. Again, I don't know if our listeners remember, we had introduced Jan Luther last month, and we're going to have a regular series with her. And she's on our show today to talk to what she calls Solo-Preneurs. And if you got what that meant last month, you're going to find out what it is. And basically, it's just people who decide to be an entrepreneur, but yet they're kind of by themselves. And then they feel lost half the times, which Ronnie, we do that.
We're both Solopreneurs.
We're both Solopreneurs. And you get to that stage where you have this dream and you have this vision, but you don't know how to connect the dots. You don't know what step 2 is and what step 3 is. And then oftentimes you sit there by yourself and you lose all of your reserve, you just lose all of your desire because you just don't know what to do. So Jan's going to help us with that today.
Excellent.
She has a special offer for our listeners for the month of September, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that and listen in. And then we have...
Author Sharita Starr. Author Sharita Starr is going to show us how to read our own personal forecast for success, and she's going to be coming on at the half hour.
So you can get advice for how to be a solopreneur or a holistic practitioner or how to start your business. And then you can use Sharita to consult the stars on what the planets have in store for you.
Exactly.
We're so congruent.
It's like we blend
cohesive.
Everything together. It's a great mix.
I'm just going to make words up today, apparently. Congruent? Yeah, that's a word.
And author Sharita Starr, she's extremely popular on the circuit right now with life coaching out there. So it'll be a great conversation.
She's a really cool individual. So is Jan Luther. All right. Check out our website, accelerateforlife.com. You can find out some more information. You can check out past issues. You can check out, you'll also be able to check out archived shows. And if you didn't catch Jan the first time around, you'll be able to catch her on our website. This is Accelerate for Life.
Mix Mafia Studios and Radio.
1801 North Tryon Street, Suite B, 121.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
In the QC, baby.
Keep some fresh blue jeans, keep some fresh black jeans, keep a whip, keep a ring out on the gym. the scene. With the special of the month, $60 for 3 hours.
$60 for 3 hours. What? $60?
I wanna be. Keep my ears to the streets of Bangtown thoroughbred. I'm more than this concrete.
Get mass promotion.
Featured on Wu-Tang Radio.
And premiere on WGIV 103.3 FM. Work with the Carolina Living Legend.
DJ Cadex, King of the Nightlife.
Being a king ain't a man, it's a lifestyle. Got a queen with some wet and a bright smile.
Get your session in now.
Now.
252-228-9007
Or 919-440-1758. Mix Mafia Studios and Radio. 1801 North Tryon Street, Suite B, 121.
Mix Mafia Studios. Be there, get there, ready. I'm getting to it.
It's the Doug Banks Show.
So, according to this article that's out, right, there are 3 conversations that are guaranteed to take away a woman's joy. 1, ain't no good men left out here. 2, dark-skinned sisters get no love. Wow. And this one, my father wasn't there for me, and that's why I am a mess.
Hoochie.
I feel like, as far as no good men left, that's just totally not true. I feel that there's plenty good men out here. We just have to know how to go and get them, or wait and let them come to us.
Yeah.
And then, as far as dark-skinned sisters gets no love, that's totally false. I mean, whoever said that did not hear the phrase, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
It's Doug Banks in the afternoon on the Soul of Charlotte, WGIV.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
What up, Charlotte? This is Beezy. Tune in each and every Saturday night at 8 p.m. for Hip Hop Hysteria with me, Beezy Baby, as your host. Playing your favorite hip hop, new and old school. It's the Hip Hop Takeover. With guest DJs each and every Saturday night. So while you figuring out what you're wearing, let me help you get your mind right. At 8 p.m. every Saturday night on the Soul of Charlotte, WGIV. Let's go!
Everybody get up.
It's one of my favorite songs, too. I might have you play that over and over and over again.
Did you see the VMAs, though?
Gosh, everybody is talking about Miley Cyrus. God.
You know, for all the complaining, and I know I really hate the tongue wagging that she does, because to me it looks ugly. But the thing is, we're talking about her. And from a marketing perspective, I may not like the music that she did, or dance, or how she looked, or really anything about her. But I can tell you this, from a marketing perspective.
Tell us how you really feel.
You know how much the VMAs, everything just went through the roof in terms of their sales, people watching. I mean, there are sales in VMA because they get sponsors. You can't buy that type of publicity. So everything, for all your complaining, guess what? You're feeding the machine right now. We are feeding the machine right now.
We are being a part of it.
That's true.
And that's what I wanted to say to everybody on Facebook posting about Miley Cyrus. You know, it was a marketing strategy. It was a branding strategy, but it was a way to get people to talk about her. Any kind of gossip is good gossip or good publicity, any bad publicity. And she'll go back to her good girl ways.
I was going to say, she's going to flip it, because she'll turn it and turn back, and she'll say, I
came from a broken home.
I found
my dad's getting
religion, or
divorced.
what have you. But I think something's going to come back.
I broke my dad's achy, breaky heart.
Oh, dude, I saw that coming. I saw it coming.
That was great. All right. So again, as we talked about before the break, we have Jan Luther, and she's with the Rejuvenation Station. And what she does is she does coaching for small businesses, anybody that wanted to start a business, and then you start the business, and then you don't know what the heck you're doing, and you realize, and before you quit, you need to contact Jan Luther, and help her walk you through it. So tell me, Jan, explain in your words how you help and something about this coaching process and what you do.
Well, the first part is because I'm a solopreneur as well, right? And all of my businesses have been from the ground up, right? And so I understand the dilemma of, we get really passionate about this idea, and we have somebody that's selling the idea to us.
That got us all jazzed up.
Right, so they're making money, yay. And then we get in our little home office and we start going, okay, so you know what, I think I need to fix my files. Yeah, I need to spend some time. And I need to figure out what I want on my web page, right? And we find all these busy things to do.
I need to do some more research.
Exactly, more research. Talk to some more of the other experts, and everything but doing the selling. Everything but having the conversation with the prospect, right? And so some of that's emotional, which I help with EFT. We did a little bit of that last time. Some of that is literally not having the knowledge, not knowing what the first right steps are. And so over the last 10 years, having helped hundreds of holistic practitioners start their business, I've really come to realize that first you have to have an understanding of what the conversation that you want to have is. If I were to ask you, we call it the elevator speech, which I hate. I hate that phrase because but we get the concept of if I could explain what I do in 30 seconds, what would I say?
Because a lot of people, you're right, when you said the knowledge, people have the idea, but they haven't gone to school for business or entrepreneurial school. And unless you read this book, I mean, you can go to the bookstore and get a book on how to, but then you got to spend the time to read a 700-page book, something like a textbook on how to do it. And then you can't guarantee that book is really going to give you the proper advice that you need.
Well, and in my experiences, there are millions of books, and the challenge is it doesn't translate necessarily to your specific niche. The thing, the product, the program that you're selling. As a lot of it's very generic and very, I picked up one the other day that was like, the 77 things you have to do to get your business going. Yay. And you open it up and it's all just blah, blah, blah.
Like get
blah,
your
blah.
business cards.
Right. Which, yes, those things are important, but that's not really getting to the nitty gritty of, do I know how to communicate to my prospect who I am, what I do, and why they need me now? And that's what I try to help people do.
And you think you would know that because we talked about this with my business, and it's like you asked me, and it's all in my head. It's like 7 paragraphs in my head, but I don't know how to flesh it out and make it that, what I hate the term too, the 30-second elevator speech, so that people don't lose interest. I mean, by the time I say 5 different paragraphs, they've kind of lost interest and they walked away, or they think I'm a freak, or they're just simply not interested.
Well, more often than not, the problem is with those 5 paragraphs is it's all left brain. Right? We're asking them to go from a, hi, how are you? Let's have this conversation, to now I have to calculate and sort and divide and, figure out what material you're giving me that means anything to me, as opposed to something that emotionally gets me going, whoa, I want that.
Painting the picture.
Right. And hooking it into something that matters to them. And that's really the gift of being able to give that 30-second speech is we should know it like our name and address. It should be something that we have rehearsed multiple varieties of that speech, because if I'm talking to Ronnie, I'm going to give him a different speech than I'm going to give you.
So for the month of September, I want to go and throw it out there. You're offering half off your initial consultation fee.
Yes.
So for the month of September, it's $20.
$20.
Which is such a good price.
It's $20 for
20 minutes.
Wow.
20 for 20. And we're going to go over everything that people would need to know before they go into that session with you.
It's going to make it really easy. If they're paying attention, get a piece of paper, make some notes about your specific business, of who you are and what you're doing. And I'm going to walk you right through the questions that I would take the first 15 or 20 minutes just asking you the questions. And then it would take 10 or 15 minutes to go, here's your next 3 steps.
All right, so let's go take a quick break. Give you guys time to go get your pen and paper. And in the meantime, let's tell them your website and how to get in touch with you and your phone numbers and how they can get started. And then when we come back from the break, we're going to start the intro that you would need to do, your homework, before you start your first initial session with Jan Luther from the Rejuvenation Station. What's your website?
It is therejuvenationstation.com or janluther.com. I know sometimes rejuvenation is kind of a weird word to spell.
Or you can't spell rejuvenation like me, and you rely on spell check.
Right. And we have actually created a little link right on the top right hand of the page. It's a little logo that has your station information on it, so they can just click on that and it will take them right to the information. And my call and email is all on there as well.
So janluther.com or therejuvenationstation.com. This is Accelerate for Life. I'm Denise Dynamac Mackey.
Ronnie Tsunami. We'll be right back.
Talk Sports with Big Eye, Ivan Key. Fridays at 1 p.m. We're hitting you with the stats and the real facts straight from your radio. We're giving you the latest sports updates. Rough, raw, and real on Let's Talk Sports with Big Eye, Ivan Key. Fridays at 1 p.m. only on the Soul of Charlotte, WGIB.
Mix Mafia Studios and Radio. 1801 North Tryon Street, Suite B, 121, Charlotte, North Carolina. In the QC, baby. Keep some fresh blue jeans, keep some fresh black jeans, keep a whip, keep a lean out of here from the seams. Productions. With the special of the month, $60 for 3 hours. $60 for 3 hours. What? $60? I wanna be. Keep my ears to the streets of Bank Town Thoroughbred. I'm older than this concrete. Get mass promotion. Featured on Wu-Tang Radio. And Premiere. on WGIV 103.3 FM. Walk with the Carolina living legend, DJ Cat-X, king of the nightlife.
Being a king ain't a man, it's a lifestyle. Got a queen with some wet and a bright smile.
Get your session in now. 252-228-9007 or 919-440-1758. Mix Mafia Studios and Radio, 1801 North Triad Street, Suite B, 121.
Mix Mafia Studios. Be there, get there. We're in it. I'm getting to it.
Hi, Charlotte. This is Sabrina Carota of WGIV. Guess what? Chicken King has added a new location off South Tryon. For 34 years, Chicken King has served Charlotte the best fried chicken, fish, gyros, burgers, and salads. You can still dine in, but our speedy drive-thru is open Monday through Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 9. Visit Chicken King today at our new location, 13215 General Drive. That's off of South Tryon. Call 704-504-8192. And don't forget, you can still visit us at 2604 West Boulevard. Senior citizens and kids, free drinks from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Dine-in only.
Boom! Please play that all the time. I'm adding to my roster of Push It and Boom. Every time I come on to speak, I want to hear Boom!
By the time we finish, we'll have like 5 minutes to talk.
Exactly. I'm not sure if my mic is on. That was like perfect timing. See, because I have headphones on, I get to hear it. And then the music goes, I said, I'm not sure if my headphones are on. It goes, boom. Anyway, you listeners heard it. So anyway, thanks for staying with us and joining Accelerate for Life. We have Jan Luther with the Rejuvenation Station, and we gave you time to get pen and paper and to get prepared, because when you get that first initial consultation that you're going to take her up on for the month of September, it's 20 for 20 minutes for $20. You can't get a better deal than that. And she's going to help you take and start your business that you've been struggling with to the next level, and how to get you comfortable with taking the next steps to get you off the ground. So so I'm coming into my first initial consultation with you. You're going to work with me, or I'm talking about it. What's going to be the things the first thing you're going to ask me?
Right. The first thing I'm going to find out is a little bit about you. I want to know who you are, because you are your business, right? So we'll talk a little bit just about that, just to kind of build some rapport and get to know each other, and for me to get some intuition and some feelings going about, okay, sometimes people might be aligned with the wrong product program or aligned with it incorrectly. So that will be where we'll start. But then I ask 3 questions every single time. And these are the 3 questions. The first is, who do you serve?
Who do you serve? And I hope you guys are writing this down. Figure out who you serve.
And I'm not just talking about, well, I sell stuff to women. No. I call this my Bob and Kathy exercise.
Why?
Because I want to imagine that I have Bob and Kathy sitting across the table from me.
Hi, Bob.
And
hey, Kathy.
And Bob is how old, and he works where, and what keeps him up at night?
Pain points.
Pain points. And what are the pain points? They're usually money, relationship struggles, right? If it's in a business, it's I don't know how to get clients. I don't know how to fix my website, right? So the who do you serve is their age, as if you could see them, as if you would be able to recognize them walking down the street. Oh, that's a Bob for me.
Like you know them like you've known them for 10 years.
Yes. And if you have a lot of clients, it's pretty easy to look at who your favorite clients are and go, that's who I want to design my business around. If you're just getting started, that's part of the challenge.
Finding out who your ideal
Bob
client is. Yes.
Right? And who's the Bob that's right for me? Mm-hmm. So what I would encourage you to do is sit down, and if you have nowhere else to start, who are you? How old are you? Why did you pick this product or program? What about it spoke to you? What pain point did you have that it went ding, ding, ding?
Right. What's your story?
Right. Exactly.
And that makes so much sense, because when you talk about it yourself, like, why did you start doing this? Why did we start the radio show? I can tell you in a heartbeat why I started this radio show.
Why did you start the show?
Because I wanted to help people that didn't have the access to the people that we talk to. They don't know how to reach somebody in Canada. They've never heard of, thank you, Jay. I like you more and more. They don't know how to, they've never heard of EFT. They've never heard of a solo entrepreneur. Things that with their own resources, their own TV shows they watch, their own friends, they would never go to the bookstore and find out the information to access and expose them to things that they would never, ever get.
Right. And we often feel like
and get them help.
People are always stagnant or feel like they're stagnant, not going anywhere. and we want to help them move forward, whether it's in their personal life or in their business life, as solopreneurs, entrepreneurs.
Well, and to bring that home as to what you were saying, like oftentimes that was me.
Yes.
I wanted to do A, B, C, D, but I didn't know how in the heck to get there.
Yes.
My circle of friends didn't know how to coach me. My family didn't know how to tell me how to get there. And even going to the bookstore when I was trying to find information, I couldn't find what I needed.
And if you did, it was boring.
Yes.
Yes, I'm
She
not going to
wanted
read.
something different, and that's the story behind it. But what we just explained, a lot of people don't explain that in their marketing materials,
Right.
on their website or in a video. You know, what we just talked about is powerful, and I often ask people with a goal, what is your mission? And I ask them, what's your mission for the business? And they're like, well, I thought you were here to consult me on how to improve my business. I go, but why are you doing it?
Yes.
And then they're like, I said, share your story.
Yes.
But it's amazing how many people don't even know. I mean, their story is like a long 10-minute, 15-minute conversation. I said, you need to bring your story down.
Right.
How do you communicate a story faster? And you're absolutely right.
And we call that your signature story. And that's part of what we're actually devising for you, because once we get your signature story and you're able to know the answers to these 3 questions, that's your new address. When you speak to someone, that's your new address. It comes very easy of, you know what? I got sick and tired of watching really great business entrepreneurs and solopreneurs. We've talked about somebody that I literally cried when I found out she was quitting her business because she's so gifted. Sick and tired of watching them struggle, give up, and take themselves out of the marketplace simply because they don't know what to do next. And next right step is one of my favorite phrases. What's your first right step? That's what we're doing now. And then what's your next right step? And it's going to be different for everyone. So you can't get it out of a book.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Because you can read a book and, this person's talking to someone that's been in business for 15 years. This person's talking to someone who's just starting their business.
Okay, so once you figure out the client, what is the next question?
The next question is, I call it my 3 whys. I do this a little differently than some. So I'm going to ask you to kind of follow me on the path here.
Okay.
The first is, why do Bob and Kathy need this? Okay, not just, it's going to help with their, they're not going to have the bill problem. If they don't have the problem with their bills, then what? What's behind that? Well, then they're going to have a little more ease, and maybe it'll take the strain off the relationship. Well, then what? Right? And so I might ask that 4 or 5 times as I'm inspired, as intuition comes in, of we haven't really got to the heart of why Bob and Kathy really, really need this.
Like the emotional part.
The emotional and the drivers, the motivators.
What keeps you up at night?
What keeps you up at night?
What makes you sit there and say, I've got to take an Ambien now because I couldn't go to sleep?
Right, because my brain won't be quiet, and I keep rehashing and rehearsing, and guess what? That's where I bring in the EFT. Ta-da! Right, as we, we clear some of that so that it's not haunting them 24/7. And by having the next steps, it gives their mind something new and productive to focus on, nothing else. The second why is, why you? Why should Bob and Kathy listen to you?
Right, differentiators.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what makes you the right fit? We've talked about, I've trained a lot of practitioners, a lot of EFT practitioners. Some of them are really great fits for not only the niche they're in, but the Bob and Kathy they're going to talk to. Mm-hmm. Right? If I have a woman and she's having relationship challenges, she may not want to work with a male. That simple.
Yep.
She doesn't want to expose herself and be that vulnerable in front of a strange man. Same thing with a guy, right? So being able to really differentiate and figure out what makes you so special,
like why would
Bob
they
and
pick
Kathy,
you?
Yeah, and being able to articulate that. And here's the thing: is as you grow in your business, you're gonna tweak that all the time.
I think one of the challenges though with that is that people don't, at least a lot of entrepreneurs that I've met, don't feel good about talking about what separates them.
Right.
I don't even understand that.
It's
because
insecurity.
I have no problem with that. I have no problem saying, here's why I'm different. But others tend to almost shy away because they feel like it's bragging.
It does feel like bragging.
We call it tooting your own horn.
Right.
Right. But the way that I help my clients get around that is I toot my client's horn. I don't talk about the great stuff I did. I talk about, I've been working with Denise for 4 months, and she's starting to manifest, and she's got a new business, and she, it's so cool to watch her because she's doing the work.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, it is. And it worked because we were talking about that before the show, and my friend, Lady T, hi, I know you're listening, and hope you got that pen and paper. And Lady T said, is this the person you've been working for, and you've been manifesting all these things in your life? And I had to stop and think, and I was like, oh, yes, it is. And that is a great story to tell. You can say, this is what I've done for my clients. And then for me, it doesn't make me feel like I'm bragging.
Right.
And I don't say what I've done. I say what my clients have done as we're working together. Because now I'm taking myself off the hot seat. I'm saying, you're going to still have to do the work, right? There's that little, let's just acknowledge it. I do some really great work with chiropractors, by the way. And if they come back to me and say my bottom line isn't changing, I say, what do you want me to do about it? I'm showing up. I'm giving you what's going wrong still in your office, right? What's happening with your team that you're repelling energetically or literally getting upset with clients because they're the patients because they're late. There's something happening there.
They do that.
Yeah, there's something happening there. I show up and give 110%. I never hold back.
Well, to do that, then they have to gather testimonials. Is that
from day one?
And I also see that a lot where people don't.
And if they don't have testimonials, we call it borrowing social proof. I know a woman who, right? I teach my practitioners to do this all the time. You're not going to have 1,000 testimonials to start with, but you can use mine. I know a woman who did EFT and.
That's perfect. That's actually
right, and it's still true. I don't have to put myself in any kind of hot seat to say it was my client or I did this or whatever.
Or
and the energy still carries that this stuff works. That's what your prospect really needs to hear.
And when we were in a group like today, that's what the whole group came to the conclusion of. Oh, this stuff works.
Right.
Because we're talking about that. So what was the next of the 3 whys?
The next is why now? Right. This is really a pivotal question that not very many entrepreneurs ask themselves is, if I can figure out why they need to do this now, and usually what I'll look at is, let's talk about your history. How long have you been suffering? How long has this been a problem?
I bet a lot of entrepreneurs don't even think about that.
They don't. Because they're so forward focused, right, that they're not really starting to think about, well, if this client is coming to me right now, why now?
Right.
And why now is because the pain has either gotten so bad that it's pushing them, or the drive and the motivation, the hunger is there so much that's pulling them.
Right. What is the catalyst?
Yes.
For them to seek change?
And my job is to help them articulate that so that they have that address, right? They know that, like they know their own name and address, and that speaks volumes to their prospects.
I'm taking notes as we speak.
I know I got it.
I don't know if you're going to be able to read them when you get done, so you might have to listen back because I'm seeing.
I know. I'm going to have to play the archives because I just write these little scribble scrabbles. And then this is what you asked me, and I struggled with it, but it helped a lot. It spoke volumes because you said, okay, what do you offer? And a lot of people go into the features, the physical or the service, but you said, nope, that's not it. What is it?
So let's talk for just a second about what was the offer that you said you had. What is your product? What were you?
Like we were talking about sponsorship for the radio, and I said airtime. I'm offering you airtime for you to do a commercial and talk about your business. I wasn't that bad, but pretty much that's what I said.
But promotional packages, right? I'm offering people promotional packages.
Physical, like your logo on a website, the opportunity to come into the station, and you were just like, no.
Right, because that doesn't motivate me. Right. I can get 1,000 of those. But if you can tell me what the transformation of working with you is going to be, most of your products, most of your services are going to have some kind of transformation in my own business and my own life. And so in that particular conversation, we started talking about, so I'm Bob, and I come and I'm on your radio. You're connecting me with an audience of people that I never see.
Got it.
Right? This particular radio station, I'll be honest, I have perhaps 2% of my clientele is from the urban population. And at first I was kind of like, well, maybe they don't want me. Maybe I don't speak their language. And then I stepped back and went, they need what I have. These are the people who are most hungry, most creative. Some of them the most dog-eared, dog with a bone. They're going to do this.
They'll start like a detailing business out of the trunk of their car, and then they turn it into an empire.
Wow. Right?
Yeah.
And when Spirit kind of gave me that side, I was like, oh, so it would be wrong of me to not show up when the opportunity did and take it at least as far as it will take me.
It would almost be cruel of you, Jan.
It would be wrong.
We have Jan Luther, by the way, with the Rejuvenation Station. Okay, so do you want to cover that point more, or do you want to go over to
transformation? That is the third question that I ask them is what exactly are you offering them? And I'm talking about the transformation. If we can talk about, for example, when I do EFT and I have a client who, grief is one of my niches, as you know, they've been struggling for 20 years. Lost a child, lost a spouse, lost someone, and they've never they've had counseling, they've had group work, they've done all these things, but they haven't been able to change on the energetic level. So that story just keeps popping up and playing. If in 3 hours I can change that story, that changes their life for the rest of their life. They've been struggling for 20 plus years.
Understanding what your business does to transform someone, and speaking that speak and saying, here's how I'm going to transform you from this to this is sorely lacking in an entrepreneur's skills.
So much. So here's the phrase I give them. When you do your elevator speech, we're going to find a new name for that. Let's work on that.
I hate that phrase.
My name is, I do what, I offer what product, to whom, who's your Bob, who's your Kathy, be real specific, to women between the ages of 20 and 52 who are at home solopreneurs. So they're mompreneurs, as our friend was talking about in the parking lot, right?
As Lady T said earlier.
And the kicker at the end is so that they can stay at home, be with their children, homeschool them if they want.
Not go back into the corporate world and have to worry about who's going to pick up your kids when they're sick.
Exactly. Or lose so many days of pay and get that furrowed brow look from the boss because your family's first.
And when I was in medical sales, we called that the benefits. Feature benefits. Feature. They were always like, talk the feature benefits. Briefly go over the feature because people want to know what you offer, but then move into the benefits. But you forget that when it's your personal stuff, but that's what you're basically talking about. What does it mean to you?
And again, the great way to do that is to celebrate your clients. I have this wonderful client who was a stay-at-home mom, knew she needed more income, realized that she had this wonderful opportunity to start a business, could do it from her basement, and we were able to help her figure out the steps to get to the right people to start creating her business, including the webpage, whatever. So.
And we have just a few more minutes, and I want to talk about, we'll have Jan on next month to go over more of this stuff because there's so much information that's so good, so beneficial. But one of the things I want to talk about and cover later is ideal client. My gosh, because you can be getting the wrong clients left and right and making your life a struggle. So one time, can we please cover attracting the ideal client and going through what the client that you want?
And the first step I'm going to tell you, and this is going to really intimidate new business owners, is knowing when to fire the wrong client.
That intimidates me. Right? You told me to do that too, and I still struggle with that.
You are fired.
Okay, so what is the number one block that a new or small business owner has for getting their business going? What are you seeing the most?
Well, I'm going to ask you guys a question. What's the difference between a business and a hobby?
A hobby, you only spend a couple hours a week. You don't take it too seriously. It doesn't matter where it goes. If you finish that project, doesn't matter. If you do, great.
Ronnie, how about you? What's the difference between a business and a hobby?
Well, to me, a business is you're focused on making money. That's the focus. The hobby is it maybe for fun. You may have other reasons for doing it. Maybe kill time, or just spend time with your family. Whatever that hobby is, but it's not. Its focus may not be business revenue generating.
Perfect.
That's kind of what I call it.
So guess what the number one block is for people?
Treating it like a hobby?
Treating their business like a hobby. And so ask yourself, are you doing any of that stuff? Are ya? Right? In your business.
And I wanted to ask you, why do you think people treat it like a hobby? Because they're scared? Because of that insecurity?
One of the things that you guys have kind of hit on is the idea of, my definition is I do a hobby because it makes me feel good about me. Right? A lot of times people will start a business because now I'm a business owner and I get to put on my big girl panties and I get to go out and buy coffee and not have to pay all of it. And then I say, oh, shoot, now I have to, right?
Work.
Yeah, work.
I got to do the stuff I don't want to do.
Doing the fun stuff.
Yes.
And we're all guilty of it, all of us. But from a business perspective, I know for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, because you have that choice.
Yes.
As opposed to working for someone where you're told, hey, you got to do this, this, and this.
You're forced to do that.
Even if you don't like it.
Stuff you don't want to do.
Right. But as a solopreneur, you have the choice of what tasks you choose. Do I do the fun tasks or do the tasks that I got to do? And, as a solopreneur, you can say, well, I think I need to do this. And you justify why you need to do these fun tasks that are fun to you. But that hurts you.
It does.
And that's where you're saying it's almost that when you do that, you're treating that as a hobby.
Totally.
You got to do the stuff that makes you uncomfortable.
And I call that rational lies.
And it doesn't get you money in the bank. It makes you close the doors.
And it makes you feel less confident about yourself. That's the irony, is we start a business because it feels good, right? We have this motivation. I'm going to feel like the big girl and whatever. And then if we keep doing the easy task, the busy work that isn't creating business, isn't making that cash register ring, although most of us don't have cash registers, but you get the point, that what tends to happen is it actually eats away at us. And that's why I see that continually becoming more like a hobby, as it starts becoming more and more uncomfortable because I'm now farther and farther behind, and somebody's saying, why aren't we making money? You know, you've got that spouse or that banker or that somebody going, you know, I cash rolled this, I helped you buy your product, I helped you,
or
whatever.
even yourself.
And 90% of the time it's self. And that keeps us up at night. I'm not doing, but can I get myself to do it? And again, that's where EFT comes in, because I can help clear that emotional block, forgive yourself, let's get the energy rolling in the right direction again. So the number one for me is treating it like a hobby, not being willing to pay what you need to pay to get the training, the coaching, Harvard did a case study, and this was in 2006, so I can't imagine what it is now. Excuse me, of what it costs to actually start a business. And they had things like a bakery, $38,000, a wine store, $156,000, a bar, $110,000. They had this whole list right up to a restaurant, which was like $340,000 to start it. That, I think, is the number one problem with Solo-Preneurs, is we can get in cheap and we can get in easy, and we think we're going to take that $200 or $2,000 of product and turn it into a $20,000 a month business.
Overnight.
Yeah,
or like a month or something.
With very little time and effort.
Right.
Treating it like a hobby. And you actually had an example of something like that. We have about a minute. Keep in mind, we're going to have Jan Luther back next month, and we'll announce that. But in the meantime,
let me tell the story real quick.
Okay.
JR was one of the people that I talked to last month from our last offer, and she has an online boutique for plus-size women. Such a great idea. A boutique, nice clothes, not tents, not made out of all polyester, that type of thing. So excited to hear about her prospects. Finding more about what she's done. She's been in business for 2 years. She also wants to sell jewelry. As we started talking, I realized I'm going online, and she has a Facebook page, but she has no web page. And she's an online.
So many people do that.
And so my obvious question, why not? Well, I don't really have the money to put into a web.
$30 a year for web hosting.
Or pay someone. We all know people who can maybe for $300 or $500, not $340,000 to start a restaurant, put you in a legitimate business with a web page.
How is she going to get orders with just a Facebook page?
People contact her, and then she has a conversation, and then write a lot of work. I mean, talk about a lot of work. That's the hard way.
I've seen it. I've seen people do it.
That is crazy. How would they even see the product?
Pictures.
Oh, God.
Which was her next block.
I hope she's not listening. I tend to do that all the time. I'm like, I hope she's not listening, because I just made her mad.
I'm hoping this will motivate her. Right? I'm hoping this will help her see that if she follows these steps and she gets it in an order of, her energy shifted immediately when I said, why not? Oh, because I'd have to spend money. But you want to make money. And not a lot of money is going to be expended.
Was she talking to my dad before she started this business? All right. So, janluther.com. She's offering a great deal for September. It is half off her first consultation fee. It's 20 for 20. It's 20 minutes for $20. And you need to listen to this show again. Listen to her the first show. Listen to our archives at accelerateforlife.com. We'll also have a link to her if you forget this website, or if you forget the Rejuvenation Station website, which is therejuvenationstation.com. You can go to our website, listen to the archive show, do your homework before you show up, because you want those 20 minutes to count. You want to get your 20 for 20 for the month of September, and it's just for the month of September. Then we're going to move on to something else. I feel like an infomercial right now.
I know. That's why I avoid doing that. But you know what?
I just started into that. But anyway, janluther.com. And then when we come back, we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back with Sharita Starr.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good stuff.
My baby, my baby, my baby. What a lady. Girl. Ooh. You're like a wine, you get better with time. Got your knee along, all this your song, you're so fine. From everything that you wear, your kind of beauty is rare. And I swear you get better looking with every year. It's your sexual peak, your full thick and physique. Young girl can't compete, come cooking something to eat, baby. And since we in the kitchen, girl, let me get that muffin. You look kind of older, yeah. Can't believe what time, girl, you're getting better.
picture of before and after. The story gets more pretty every chapter, getting more attractive. Aging a factor. The young one that I got, I'm about to leave her. Berry sitting on the vine with time of sweeter. If I could be your man, girl, you won't want for nothing. You look better the older you get. You really need to.
Love, lust, infatuation. What's your relationship based on? Get experienced relationship advice every Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. You want to learn how to get your relationship right? It's real talk in a practical way. Come into the Chop Shop every Friday at 6 a.m. on WGIV, the soul of Charlotte.
It's the Doug Banks Show.
So, according to this article that's out, right, there are 3 conversations that are guaranteed to take away a woman's joy. 1, ain't no good men left out here. 2, dark-skinned sisters get no love. Wow. And this one, my father wasn't there for me, and that's why I am a mess.
I feel like, as far as no good men left, that's just totally not true. I feel that there's plenty good men out here. We just have to know how to go and get them, or wait and let them come to us. And then, as far as dark-skinned sisters gets no love, that's totally false. I mean, whoever said that did not hear the phrase, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
It's Doug Banks in the afternoon on the soul of Charlotte, WGIV.
WGIV.
Kicking, you got it, baby. Hip-hop and R&B.
You've got it.
And all that. You got it.
WGIV.
That's right.
Keep it locked.
Right here.
103.3, the soul of Charlotte.
I love it. Thanks for joining us and sticking with us on the hump day on your lunch hour. I'm Denise Mackey.
With Ronnie Tsunami.
And, okay, now we're going to talk to Sharita Starr. What is she giving us today, Ronnie?
Well, Sharita Starr is a psychic of the planets, astrologer, numerologist, and lexicogramist. Sharita distinctly sees how patterns of energy form within our lives. And as a constant student of the planets above, she's a messenger for our individual journeys down here below, right here on Earth. And equally seeing how to optimally utilize our free will to ordain success. Her consultations guide souls to make proper choices through their personal planetary roadmaps. And we're looking forward to finding out what our forecasts are. And we've got a special offer as well. Hello, Sharita. How are you doing?
Good morning, Denise and Ronnie. A pleasure to be on the show and an honor. And I'm doing very well up here in New York.
Well, you're up in New York.
I was wondering where you were because I saw your video on your website.
Yep, I'm up here in New York.
So tell us a little more about what you did, because I know we've had a lot of different guests from different fields here, but you know, as an astrologer, numerologist, and lexicogrammist, I mean, when you say seeing patterns of energy form within our lives, what do you mean?
Well, we are all guided, like, you know, we come into this earth with a name and we come into this earth with a birthday. And this becomes our personal tool for self-knowledge. So it is the constant. When you have an astrological birth chart, which that's also why we love to know what time you're born, we determine how all of the zodiac is affecting your life. So you have your constant of your birth chart, and then being that everything moves in forward motion from that point on, if you can think about all those planets up there above us in their orbits, doing their thing, whatever's going on in the here and the now is creating a pattern of energy that's going to affect our life somehow, some way. And due to the fact that we have free will, we can go one way or the other. Knowing, we all know there's this thing in existence called the law of attraction. Well, the planets are the perfect tool to tap us into the way we personally can respond and hopefully not react to what is attracting towards us. And we do this astrologically with current transits, and we also, with the way that numbers work with numerology, we can see a very easy view by just knowing the day and the month we're born, where we're flowing in a 9-year time span. Because we always are flowing in a constant of 9, determined from the day. So every time you have a new year, which means your birthday, that's your personal new year, not January 1st. There's that number when you add the current year of your birthday to the day and the month, you're always going to have that number reduced to a number that will be 1 to 9. So that shows you. And of course, with the 1, we're going to start something. Then with the 2, we're going to start cooperating. We plant new seeds in a new year. Then we kind of cultivate, nurture those seeds in the following year, make them grow. Then we expand. Then we get the roots really strong in the year 4. So by the time we're in the 5th year of a 9-year cycle, we can blossom, go through permanent changes, movement. The 6th year following that offers us harmony and balance after all the changes that will happen in a 5-year in the life, and most of the time these are permanent ones. And then we get into a 7 personal year, which is about sharpening the inner saw. And it's a year in the life where, you'll seek reflection a little bit more. You work on the self. Time alone is always very favored in a 7 personal year. And then that gets us ready for the harvest. And if you look to these 9-year cycles, like they're kind of like a garden in your life. You've planted a new garden, and then in that 1 year, you've planted those seeds. And by year 8, you've got the full. It takes this long. What's also so challenging in the world that we live in today is that the technology and the information coming at us is so fast. It's so sped up.
Right.
That these planets and the way that we can judge and measure and see how this goes on for human beings, we aren't operating in any different timeline than we were 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. So we're operating in a world that's too fast. And we expect something before it can actually show up. So when you're in that 8 year, that's when like the kick and caboodle, I like to call it, comes into play. And you get the recognition, the harvest, and the reward of everything you started 7 years prior. And by the time you reach the 9 year after that, you start to see conclusions. Whatever hasn't been working right gets out of the way. And then you're clearing the plate again to start new beginnings again in that next, what will begin another 9-year cycle. And this layers down. And when you really get into the details of how numerology can calculate your forecast, you flow in time 1 to 9 years, 1 to 9 months, and 1 to 9 days.
Well,
so it's a really powerful tool for timing in your life and understanding this is going to show up here, or if my free will can take appropriate action upon this day, in this month, in this year, I'm going to get the results I want to see rather than trying to do something when you're not supposed to do it.
Wow, so it seems like there, and it seems strange to me as talking about things like in a formula, right? It's almost like literally a number. There's numbers that correlate to your birthday, that correlate to the time, and based on where you are in that cycle, you have a formula to calculate, and that's, I guess, how you create this forecast.
Which kind of makes life. It seems a little confusing at first. Like, I want to ask you, how did you get that number? It's not just from your born 1 to 9 years, and then your second cycle is 1 to 9 years. It's based on how do you get that number?
It's based on what'll happen is when you're born, you have your whole entire birth date. So you're going to add the day, the month, and the year all together. That's going to give you a compound number that will reduce. And all you do is when you're looking at numerology, when you have your compound numbers to get that singular energy, you're going to just add the 2 digits together. So let's say your entire birthday adds up to 27. Well, you're going to take the 2 and the 7 and find out that that's a 9. So that would mean you're following a 9 life path. And then every year that you have a birthday after that, you're going to see how you start to flow in these 9-year cycles. But yes, you start somewhere in that 1 to 9 energy, which is always like you are, the day of the month you're born is what we call your karmic path, that very calendar date of the month. And this fuses with your birth, with your sun sign. It tells you your talents, what you're good at doing, where you should be placing your energy to reap the success that you'd like to reap in life.
Wow, now
it'll also indicate health. It'll indicate all sorts of things about yourself. But you, as the sun sign and the karmic path soul you are always walking a particular life path. So it's like a secondary energy that's also guiding you. And if you kind of, if you're the 9 life path and you're walking down the 6, you're probably not going to get, you're kind of like a square peg fitting in a round hole.
Right, it's not optimal. You might succeed, but maybe not get as much success.
You won't succeed as quickly. You won't succeed as quickly, that's for sure.
Now, so you're offering a free forecast for people who go to your website, is that correct? Where people can go to sharitastar.com, and we have that link on our website. If you sign up, is it a newsletter?
What I do is I do forecasting for the month. So you would get what's happening in the zodiac month ahead. You get my lunarscope coupled with how the numerology works, knowing what the moon is up to via how we wax and wane with the moon. We have a new moon, which gives us a 2-week period each month of initiation. Then we gather all that to a full moon, and then we're in what we call a waning phase, which is what we're in right now, because we just had a full moon last Tuesday. And it's a time every month where we're really meant to be in reflective mode, tying up loose ends, not really starting too much, because naturally the moon gains light and it loses light. And when you try to initiate something when the moon is losing light, you don't get the same result you would have if you just did it when the moon is gaining in the light, gathering from a new moon, which is when you don't see a moon in the sky at all. So, yes, anyone who would like to sign up for my...
I'm going to sign up now.
I'm on your website right now. I'm like, exactly where do we do this on your page?
There's a purple sign-up button. If you go to SharitaStar.com, go to sign up now.
It's right there under subscribe.
So
it's a purple button. You can't miss it.
So they do that. You're going to actually contact them and give them a personal forecast?
I will let them know where they are. If and what we'll do is correspond a little bit, and I'll find out the day and the month they're born. Or when they sign up, they have the opportunity to put their birthday right in that sign up form.
Gotcha.
So I will have that information right there. So make sure that you put your birthday in there so that I can.
So look for Ronnie.
my numbers as I like to do.
Look for Ronnie and Denise, because within 10 minutes we're going to send this off. We're already on your website.
Well, thank you so much, Sharita. I appreciate it. And just so you know, Sharita's very popular. Sharita, I know that we correspond on Facebook and in a couple groups, but really looking forward to getting my forecast. And again, if you're out there listening to this right now, go to SharitaStar.com, hit the subscribe button there, big purple button, and get your personal forecast for success, I call that. And who wouldn't give... He
wouldn't give this a try.
Right. What do you have to lose?
Oh, and I have a question for you, because on your form, which is the purple box you get on SharitaStar.com, you asked for the first name. Now, I go by my middle name. Do you need my legal first name?
Not to do the forecasting, no. So whatever you want to be called is totally fine if it's just for that. If we wanted to do a name analysis for you and get into the lexicograms and how your name... the name you were born to versus what you're going by legally now, all of that has a whole other layer of insight to provide. But for today, you can sign up under the name you like to be called or that you're currently called.
Yeah, I didn't want to reveal the first name. Not yet. No, I'm not ready for that. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That's SharitaStar.com, and you want to go fill out that information. I'm going into the infomercial again, and why don't you go ahead and tell us who our sponsors are, Ronnie? That's good stuff
we want to thank our sponsors. First, we want to thank Sharita for coming on board and helping us out today, understanding our forecast. We also want to thank our sponsors, KOK Consulting and Coaching, 9-Round Matthews, 30-minute kickboxing fitness, Bobby Anderson, pain management coach, I need that, Jan Luther, our master EFT, who you heard today, We Connect Local for internet, social media, and mobile marketing, Charlotte Biz Owners, Rod Potter out there, the networking guy, and LinkedIn Charlotte, Mary Beth Wren, also our resident psychic, as well as Wellness 101 Network and Dreamy Interior Designs, along with Ronnie Tsunami, a quick launch guru.
Love it. Thank you for joining us on today's Accelerate for Life. Again, you can find all of our archive shows on our website, accelerateforlife.com. And between now and next week, I want all of you that listen to go to our Facebook page and like us on Facebook, Accelerate for Life, if you already haven't done that.
Yep, facebook.com// Accelerate for Life. Check it out on our website.
Yep, you can even go to our my personal Facebook page, Denise Mackey, and look me up and make yourself feel special and like me. Or, I don't know, friend request me. Ronnie's like, no, don't do that to me. All right, join us next week. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Aloha.
Go to the max.